Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago.
Rise and shine. It's the Wake Up Show, where every sunrise is a call to action. Powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we are the champions of change, advocating for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the world of corporate and government contracting. It's not just a show, it's a movement. So get ready for another dynamic journey as we wake up the world to a new era of opportunities and empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Larry Raeh.
Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago, powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I am your host, MC Pearson from 25M Printing, and in lieu of our president, Mon Capitan, Mr. Larry Ivory, who is in Zimbabwe. He is, you've been hearing us talking about Zimbabwe and all the opportunities for black businesses over there and black entrepreneurs. So he's over there, on the ground, getting the facts, being ready to bring back the information that we absolutely need. And our main man, Mr. Buddy Love, is out. He's doing the whole TV thing. I can't wait for him to come back and let us know, exactly what does that world look like. But I would be remiss if I did not introduce my co-host, Miss LaDonna Raeh.
That's right. You put a miss on it because it's LaDonna Raeh, y'all, from Raeh Consulting. All your marketing needs, right? But look, watch this. We're talking about how the lack of visibility in black businesses is so prevalent. But before we get to that, I want to give a shout out because as it was spoken earlier, membership has its benefits when it comes to the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Watch this. We have a new member, Miss Glennis Thomas. Now, I mentioned her last week, but she corrected me. She was like, the name of my business is T&T Janitor Services. And I want to give a shout out to her and thank her for joining the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. So we're going to be reaching out to all of our members because we have an upcoming membership drive for 2025. Watch this. All members will get to give a 30-second elevator pitch, popcorn style, where everyone will take down their contact information that is ready to do business within the chamber and get it moving and get it cracking. Have you ever, I'm not going to ask you if you've been on Tinder, okay? But I
have not been on Tinder.
You've not been on Tinder?
Not been on Tinder.
Neither have I. Where's my camera?
No shade to those that have, though. No shade.
Yeah. No, I've been on there. But anyway, you can swipe right for the ones that you think, for the gentleman that you think you're interested in, or the mate nowadays, right? Or you can swipe left if you're not interested. Now, that's not how I found success in relationships, but watch this. On our 30-second elevator pitch, it's kind of the same thing. As you hear the businesses talk about their businesses in 30 seconds or less, get it together, okay?
Come on now.
You're going to be able to make a decision right then and there. There is no, I was thinking maybe 2026, 2030. Look, we're here to do business.
The time is now.
The time is now. So membership has its benefits, and this is a members-only platform, this specific one. But when you join the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, you too can take part in these 30-second elevator pitch, popcorn style, baby, and get that business. Yeah.
This is the type of thing that, when you was in high school and you had to do a presentation in front of the class, and they tell you just get in front of the mirror and talk it out, and practice and rehearse. It's the exact same thing. See, they was teaching. You wonder what high school was all about. They taught you what you was gonna need for today.
Yeah, but some of y'all are getting in front of cameras with filters. Don't do that. Okay,
don't do that.
Here we go.
No, we want your authenticity.
So, over this past week, I told you, I shared with you that, and we have a special guest. I can't wait to talk about this. But over the past few weeks, I've been driving a rental car. Rental cars are not, it's not a good thing because you fall in love with the rental car. I get to push the button to start. I'm like, all I got to do is press my brake.
They still had a new car smell.
Man, it does, right? Except the one I had before, it smelled like weed. But anyway, I swapped it out.
Somebody didn't do their job.
Somebody didn't do their job or follow the rules. But I fell in love with this Nissan, and I'm a Nissan girl. And because my car is, obviously they were trying to, it's totaled out. Who cares? But we're safe, right? But the people over at the rental car place, I've never seen such a group of young people that were eager to help. And they were black. And it's sad that we have to say it like that. And because you wouldn't say, and they were white. You would just expect it in certain areas. But I was in the south suburbs and they were eager to help. And I want to give a shout out to Roger because he gave me a ride home. I wrote it on a piece of paper like I was in distress. I need a ride home once I drop this car off. And he jumped into action and drove me home. And guess what radio station he listens to? He couldn't pull off until he turned to what? WVON,
Come
baby.
on, man. We should expect black excellence like that. That's right.
And he listens to the Wake Up Show Chicago, y'all.
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, and Roger that. I told him I would give him a shout out at Enterprise over there in Calumet City. Now, they did not pay for this slot, but I'm not going to not mention them because they did not. And speaking of which, those of you that are having lack of visibility, we have an abundance of packages for you to connect and get out to our audience with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. We're going to need for you to let us know that you're there waiting for these packages to be sent out to you. Watch this. You can advertise on our Wake Up Show.
Come on.
The Wake Up Show Chicago has radio commercial slots. Our social media has slots available. Our website has slots available. And our conferences that are upcoming, 25 Mike or 25M. I want to call it 25 Mike.
That's all right. 25 Mike is fine. That's what we call it in the military.
Right, but Mike is not 25. Okay, so he does the majority of the printing, and your logo and the name of your brand can be on those pieces, those articles of marketing, so that you can have that increase your visibility. So just give us a shout. Give us an inbox message, and I will call you back myself. But go on ILBCC.org. That's the right website. Don't go to the ILBCC, the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, so that you can become a sponsor and you can also become a member. I'm sorry. I had a lot to say.
Hey, listen, it all needed to be said. We need to do some house cleaning right at the beginning, because once we get into this, see, a lot of black businesses have a hard time with visibility, with letting people know who they are, where they're at, what they're doing. And, and they have this magical power, this service that they offer.
Magical power.
It's a magical
power of Negroes. I'm just kidding.
Man, that was
a movie,
that
right?
was a movie, right? I enjoyed that movie. But, you have this unique superpower, and you chose to turn it into a business and provide this service to the community. You feel like you got a duty, obligation, and responsibility to provide this thing, and yet you're having a hard time getting it out there to the world, letting them know, hey, here it is. So you know what, we're going to crack that thing open on today. We're going to crack it open. We're going to talk about some actionable things that we can do, and we got a special guest who, listen. Yeah, come on, LaDonna.
Look, it's time to go to commercials. Y'all know 9:15, 9:30, and 9:45. And I want to give a shout out to our assistant producer, Lorenzo T. Hughes. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. We'll see you when we come back on the Wake Up Show Chicago. Hey, it's LaDonna Raeh with the Wake Up Show Chicago. I know that you've heard of AI and are wondering how to use it in your business. If you're ready to increase your productivity without breaking the bank, discover the power of AI. So here are some tips in using AI in your business. As a Black-owned business owner, we know time is precious, and every minute counts when you're building something great. That's where AI can help by saving you time on customer communication and social media planning. Let's start with customer service. Just ask your AI like Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, or ChatGPT this prompt. Create a set of email templates for responding to common customer inquiries for my marketing company. Include responses for order status, updates, service capacity, refund requests, and one-to-one training information. Keep the tone friendly and professional and add a personalized touch for customer loyalty. Done. In seconds, AI will generate ready-to-use responses for all your frequently asked questions, keeping customer interactions consistent and professional. Send. Now, for social media, to stay on top of mind with your community and customers without spending hours every week, just use this prompt. Create a month-long social media content calendar for my marketing business targeting new business owners. Include post ideas for promoting services, engaging the community, sharing customer testimonials, and highlighting cultural events or milestones relevant to my audience. Provide hashtags, suggested captions, and call to actions. Now you've got a whole month of engaging on brand content right at your fingertips. All that's left is to schedule a post. Spend less time on busy work and more time building your vision. Get to working on your AI today. It's time-saving, simplified support for the businesses you are building. Well, that's all I got. I'm LaDonna Raeh, your AI expert, on the Wake Up Show Chicago, each and every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time. See you next week. If you missed the Getting Down to Business 19th Annual Business Convention brought to you by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, well, here's your chance to pre-register for next year's 20th Anniversary Business Convention happening at the luxurious Wind Creek Casino in Homewood, Illinois, the summer of 2025. This is your chance to be a part of an unforgettable experience where industry leaders come together to connect, learn, and grow. Whether you're looking to expand your network, gain valuable insights, or showcase your business, this is the event of the year. And here's the best part. Pre-register now for just $50 at ILBCC.org, and the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce will match your $50 towards your full registration. But hurry, this offer is only available for a limited time. Don't miss out on this exclusive opportunity. Secure your spot today, and let's make the 20th Anniversary Business Convention the best one yet. Visit ILBCC.org to pre-register now and double your investment in your future. See you at the Wind Creek Casino, summer of 2025. Brought to you by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Show Chicago. Listen, we're going to be taking callers on today, and the phone number is 773-591-1690. And make sure to check us out on ILBCC.org. You know, for you military veterans, that's Igloo Lima Bravo Charlie.org. I just want to do that.
My name is Charlie. Okay, so I know you guys heard the pre-registration for the conference next year and how we are matching your $50. Well, that Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and Chamber appreciation ends today. So for those of you that want that $50 match to pre-register for your conference ticket next year, you better get it now because it's going as of I'm going to be up at midnight to hit turn it off.
And you know what? And you want to be a part of this because, see, so many people talked about the last one that happened in Peoria, and people were upset because they said, I couldn't travel down to Peoria to be part of the matchmaking with all of the corporations that the chamber puts your business in front of. And they couldn't be, they didn't get a chance to experience all of the breakout sessions that were going on. But see, this year, we're back in Chicago.
And not only that, we're at the Wind Creek Casino.
Come on now, come on.
And they sponsor this show for real. So we want to shout out to Wind Creek Casino, Southland, right there in Homewood. It is such a beautiful facility. But we don't have a lot of time. I wish I could just talk about everybody, including Patriot Greens and Treats. Okay, so if you guys can see my packaging, those of you watching online, this is one of our members. Jerry Zerung and his family joined a few months ago, right at the conference, actually, and they have already been placed in multiple grocery stores and school districts and things of that nature because of their membership with the chamber. Not to mention Deborah Farmer, Deborah Olivia products. She has lip gloss, eyewear, hatwear. They call them lids. And she sent quite a few so that I could try these out. Now, I don't wear a lot of lipstick, but I will wear her color. She sent every color. So go to DeborahOlivia.com and get your product today. So now we got to get on to our guest because we asked him to be early. We asked him to log in early so that we could make sure that we got our technical stuff all together, and it was amazing. So I can't wait to introduce our next guest. Those of you don't forget to call in, like Mike said. But today we are welcoming Mr. Brinton Flowers to the Wake Up Show. He is with Flowers Communication Group. He corrected me. He said, put that group on the end of there.
Come on now.
One of the nation's leading multicultural integrated marketing agencies and advertising. Come with it. As a dynamic professional in this field of marketing and public relations, I welcome Mr. Brinton Flowers. Hello, Brinton.
Morning, sir.
Hello there. Thank you. Hello. Good morning. And you all left out an important part. Well, we left out an important part with supplying that to you. We should have put at the end, longtime member of the chamber.
Oh, you
come
so
on now.
right.
Long-time member
of the chamber. And I got to send a shout out to my vice president, Michael Royston. He's actually over there in Zimbabwe with Mr. Ivory right now. So longtime supporter of this show too. So listeners, make sure you guys follow on YouTube because they're always providing great value and insight. So thank you all for having me this morning.
Of course. So the lack of visibility in Black business, what say you when it comes to Black businesses and individuals saying, I didn't know they were Black owned, or I didn't know they existed.
I didn't even know that they were located there, and I drive past them every day.
Every day.
Wow, what such a great question. So when we talk about the importance of visibility, I would say it starts with breaking stereotypes and misconceptions. So visibility helps to challenge, outdated narratives and showcase the innovation, resilience, and excellence of Black businesses. So going back to what you all are talking about you didn't know, it's all about being visible, because success stories really inspire the next generation of Black entrepreneurs, illustrating what is possible when businesses thrive, which then translates into the bottom line and economic impact. Increasing your visibility drives more Black dollars into our communities, fostering economic growth and sustainability. So I'll just start with that right there.
Yeah, and that's very important and critical in our neighborhoods and communities, because if the foot traffic is not in those businesses, then we can't keep our taxes at a reasonable amount. We can't keep those communities thriving, so to speak. So it's like it's not a us and them, it's a we. So in order to get that foot traffic increased, we have to support Black businesses, especially Black businesses. So when you pass by and say, dang, I remember when Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were located at the candy store on the corner and now it's something else. We have to support them. But the word of mouth has to be true as well, because what we are finding, and what I'm sure you have observed and witnessed, MC, is that when we experience or have a slight discrepancy in experiences with Black businesses, we are so quick to give them visibility, negative visibility. Okay. That should not be the way that we go. But you have to be able to support them, not just by walking in the door, but also word of mouth. What does Flowers Communications do for small and medium sized Black businesses when they want to increase their visibility?
Nice. So I'll first say, when you're talking about that negative word of mouth, just because we're Black businesses and just because you might be a Black business for anybody out there, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have quality with your service and product. Everybody should be using you, whether Black or not, because of the quality of your service and product. But specifically when it comes to Flowers Communications Group, we really focus on using culturally relevant and inclusive messaging to make sure that we're connecting authentically with diverse audiences. When you were talking about foot traffic and you remember when so-and-so owned the store on the corner, we really also focus on community-centric campaigns, really focusing on, initiatives that engage with our local communities, creating ambassadors for youth and people around the neighborhood within our key demographics. And importantly, most importantly, wink, wink, you all should know about this one, tapping into multicultural media, engaging with platforms like The Wake Up Show and WVON and publications that, serve the communities that we live in and really touch the consumers that, our brands are trying to reach, while fostering loyalty. And then again, advocacy through storytelling, sharing success stories of these Black-owned businesses in our client portfolios and using them as case studies and examples to inspire action from these corporations and from these large brands.
I think all of those things are so important because, see, when businesses when the community around us don't know that we're present, don't know that we're there, you cannot provide economic empowerment, because oftentimes as a business grows in our communities, we begin to hire from our communities. And so there are basic things that we should be doing for visibility that we completely ignore, so I can hear in my sanctified imagination, those people saying, I don't have money for this and I don't have money for that, but yet there's low hanging fruit that we absolutely ignore. Every time I go on Google to find a particular business and they pop up on that right hand side of the screen with their phone number and their address and their hours of operation, that's low hanging fruit. That's a Google My Business account, which is free. And we ignore those things. And, even when we talk about customer engagement, right? The days of having the perfect video, the perfect customer review, the perfect lighting. If you look at a lot of YouTube videos today, they don't have those snazzy, cuts between scenes and things of that nature. And so what I'm saying is, if you got a customer in your store and they're raving about what you just did for them, hey, whip out your phone, ask them for a personal testimony right then and there, and then upload that to your Google My Business account. It's free. And then the algorithms, they like seeing reviews. They like seeing those things. And so there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. And then just going back to Brinton's suggestion, when we talk about engaging in community, a lot of us, we treat social media as consumers. We don't treat it as business owners. And so that means getting engaged in communities online that are similar to, where your clientele is going to be found. And so you provide value. Don't sell, just provide value. And the more value that you provide in engaging with people that are where your customers would be, they begin to follow you. They begin to look at who you are. They begin to see you as a subject matter expert. And, and it only takes 20, 30 minutes a day. And when you begin to look at it as a business, this is part of my marketing. By engaging, you'll stop seeing it as I'm wasting time online. And so I completely agree with you that we have to build our engagement with our community, with our potential customers.
Well, you know what time it is. And when we come back, we got more questions for you, Brinton, because people out there need to walk away with, I'm going to run and tell that. Okay. You're listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago. I'm LaDonna Raeh with MC Pearson. We'll be back in a second. I'm sorry, Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. There we go.
Are you ready to rise, to grow, to thrive? In Illinois, we got the resources to keep you alive. Join the chamber today and elevate your game. Together we'll succeed. Fuel that business flame. Join the movement, feel the business vibe. With ILBCC.org, you'll always strive. Elevate your brand and take your place. The strongest community, we set the pace. Networking's the key, doors open wide. Workshops and support will be by your side. From contracts to funding, let's make it a win. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce is where it begins. Visit ILBCC.org and make that bold start. Together we'll build businesses with hearts.
And we're back. That was a short one, We're listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago. Don't forget, go to ILBCC.org and check out the membership link so that you can become a member. I don't want to sound like a telethon, especially since I just came off the St. Jude telethon, but you don't want to miss out on 2025. There is a Project 2025 that's out there. Y'all just scared of it, right? We can have our own Project 2025.
Actually, there is a Black Project 2025. Yes. You need to check them out on Instagram and TikTok. Put it in, Black Project 2025. And it's a young woman who is shepherding this movement. It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it's pretty awesome.
Well, she better be saying join the chamber, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Brinton, what are some of the challenges that people say to you that may not buy into needing your marketing services? What are some of the challenges that they most often mention?
I would say, going back to what MC mentioned before commercial break about, your visual identity and being able to afford to be able to do things. So a lot of times we might run into, a smaller company that might not have budget like a larger company. So I would say really financial challenges, but we really try to, reach down and pull smaller companies up. But I would say it's basically financial, because 9 times out of 10 people understand that you really need to invest in your visible identity, everything from, professional websites to logos, to marketing materials, MC, with your printing company. So people understand the importance of that. Also not knowing what public relations is. Yes. You run into a lot of folks that are like, what is PR? What does PR do for me? So not knowing, so there's an educational piece along with it where we have to educate consumers what public relations can do for you, because, they understand the marketing aspect, but not so much trying to get press, trying to get, third-party influencers talking about your brand. So I would say financial, and then not understanding PR, and also, not having the dollars to invest the way that they need to in their visual identity.
Mm-hmm. And I want to piggyback off of that, because seemingly we focused strictly on the money. During COVID, a lot of businesses closed their doors because the first budget that they cut was marketing, but they should not have, because you have to let people know, hey, we're still open. And you also have to do that outside of COVID. You have to, hey, we're still here, or we are here. But there are bite-sized pieces that can be done with any business that can be a little financial investment, but you have to put the sweat equity in. And a lot of times when we're working on our business, or should I say we're working in our business, we don't take the time. I'm going to say take the time. We don't take the time to work on our business because we're working in the business. How many times have we gone into an establishment of color and that person was working the cash register? I'm going to use restaurant. That's not the only type of business we own.
Come on.
But, he's working the cash register and handling the food and prepping for the next order and looking at the Uber Eats orders. He's doing everything, or she's doing everything. Does he have time to put together his 30-second pitch like our members need to have by January? Does he have time to put his website together? You have to take the time to do these things, just because if you don't, it will be much harder. I do remember when I had a brick and mortar, the more people we hired, the more our revenue went up.
That's right.
And a lot of people look at, well, I need to cut these expenses. Those are necessary expenses. You need to cut unnecessary expenses.
Exactly.
Marketing
Correct.
and advertising is a necessary expense. Let's go into digital marketing. Digital marketing, MC and I talk about this quite often, because digital marketing costs a fraction of what traditional marketing has been. Now, that doesn't mean don't go out and get a professional. If you do marketing, do it yourself. And if you do it, then why haven't you done it? Okay.
A lot of times, and I'm going to kick this over to Brinton. I spoke with somebody the other day, and we actually sat down and went through their finances. Now, I'm not a financial expert, but some things are just common sense. And by the end of the conversation, we found $616 worth of expenses that were not needed. I'm talking about from the morning Dunkin' Donuts, which is $3.78 a day, Monday through Friday. And I said, well, a Keurig cup is only 21 cents. And we went through all of the subscriptions. And by the time we went through it, we said, now that's $616 you could use in marketing, that you can pay a subject matter expert, that you can pay someone else to do the things that you don't have time to do if we cut back on these unneeded expenses, and I'm the first one. I used to be a Dunkin' Donuts head, but now I'm a 21 cents Keurig cup.
I don't get my hot chocolate in the morning anymore.
And I cut it down, and I could double up now because I keep it in my thermos.
but we didn't discuss it though. You just pulled my hot chocolate. I just don't get them anymore.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna see what I can do. So Brinton, what? Talk about that digital marketing aspect and the cost, because we have a lot of misconceptions about what the cost of things are, what it's going to take to get a company involved in order to help me build this business and build out the marketing, because that marketing brings new revenue in. And so can you demystify some of these misconceptions that people have and why your company is so important? As we've all heard the generic term that when you start a business, you got to build a team around you, but specifically, you also need a marketing arm that's going to drive dollars to that bottom line.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm going to kind of steal some of your lightning and thunder from something you mentioned from the last segment when you said that, there are resources available to you that cost you nothing. So when we talk about digital marketing, all of the platforms where your customers are free. So before we even get into the flower side of you hiring a company like myself, you can invest in yourself from a digital standpoint by making sure you're consistent across all channels, a cohesive presence across your website, your social media, and other platforms, really strengthen your brand recognition. And you really are not going to be able to survive out here without doing so. There used to be a time where, you could post once or twice a week or be seen, once a month on social media, and it doesn't work like that anymore. You have to constantly be consistent when we're talking about digital marketing. So you can do that on your own, but then you can come to a Flowers Communications group, and we are able to really craft and tailor your messaging to make sure that it aligns with, your tonality. It really aligns with who you are as a brand, who you are as a business, and it sounds like who you are, and doing what you need to do to make sure that you're growing your online footprint and growing your online community, and really using that community to, cascade whatever messaging it may be that you have to make sure that you're top of mind when it comes to, your consumers in the community.
Absolutely. And those of you that think that digital marketing is going on to Facebook and saying, hey, look at me on your personal page. Okay.
It's really not.
That is not digital marketing. That is not marketing. That is making an announcement and telling your friends and family what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's important to, and let me just land this plane. It's a short one. You have to understand that you're able to segment who you want to reach. You have to know your target audience. But before you know your target audience, you have to know your brand. If you don't know your own brand, how can you sell it to someone else? Once you've identified your target audience, which if you ask someone, who do you want to reach? The moment they say everybody, it's nobody. Because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as everyone.
Everybody.
But nobody. But if you are able to give a age range, if you know where they are, you got to know where your target audience is. Where do they frequent? And you got to hit them there. Everybody wants, you don't reinvent the location, okay? You don't want to, they don't go over here, so I'm going to go over here and bring them. You'll be wasting a lot of time. But once you've identified your brand and you know it, once you've identified your target audience and you know it, that segmented set of people, those are the people that are going to like your stuff and they're going to buy your stuff. And they don't really buy your product for real. No,
go ahead.
They buy They buy
My
your
breath
story.
Was too deep. My breath was too deep.
Oh,
It threw
okay.
you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
I do got something. Go ahead.
They buy your story, so you have to really define what that is. What is your story going to be about your brand? You don't always have to be a disabled veteran to have a story.
Come on now.
You don't always have to have a cancer remission to have a story. Everyone has a story.
Right. Come on.
Yeah.
And you know what? And let me speak to that person, you know, that just say it in their head. Well, my personal page has more followers than my business page. And you know, and I get it, you know, you want to post on a personal page. Here's the deal. You post on your personal page, you post on your business page, right? And then your business page references your personal page. Your personal page references your business page. And you have them piggyback off of one another. Same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on Facebook, same thing on Instagram. You got more followers because you were doing so much stuff, you know, on your personal page. Then that's what you do. You piggyback them one from the other, and then it adds validation at the same time.
I don't know. It depends on what you're selling. Because if I look at my customer base, and because I also do marketing, if I look at my customer base and it's none of the friends and family that were, you know, giving me amen claps, then that's not where I need to post my business. Okay, that's for real. But you definitely want to go where they are, because if they're not on your personal page, good luck with that. Yeah. So we're gonna get ready and go to break, Brinton, but if you could go to a business that have you ever seen a business and you're like, man, I could do so much for them and they would be on top right now if they were obviously struggling in the area of advertising and marketing. What is it that you can give them that is valuable so that they can eventually contact you and do it, you know, the Flowers way?
I would say this makes me think about kind of, you know, when you're talking about the matchmaking with the chamber, because we have to, you know, we're not the richest company in the world either, and we have to still connect with brands and, you know, get customers, if you will, as well. So I would say continuing to network and get FaceTime with people in your industry and in the marketing industries, because there's so much insight that you can get from just being around, involved, and present. I could just be a listener of this show, you know, and gain so much valuable insight, you know, that kind of sets as the foundation or launching point, if you will, for somebody that hasn't even started yet or have dollars to get to the point to where you can have a conversation with a Flowers Communications group. So I would say networking and staying in the mix, first of all. And then, you know, our doors are always open. You know, it doesn't cost to have a conversation with myself or Michelle Flowers Welch or one of our vice presidents at Flowers. We're not a law firm. We're not going to charge you by the hour. If you just want to have a conversation, you know, hey, I'm having this challenge. What can I do? What do you recommend? Now, we're not going to give you a full, all-out, blown-out plan, but we still will tell you, hey, here's how you can take a first step. Here's some tools that you can take to leverage to, you know, get you off the ground, you know, until you get to a place to where you can invest more in your marketing dollars. You know, here's not Flowers Communications Group. Here is this person, you know, who's an independent contractor who is great and can meet you where you're at right now. So staying in the mix, networking, and talking to people is what it's all about. And then eventually all of the dominoes will fall in your favor.
Oh, that conference next year.
The conference next year. Well, you know what? Since you put it out there, and we're going to include this in the show notes, why don't you give us the contact information for the Flowers Group then?
As soon as we come back.
As soon as we come back from break.
Right. We almost got it. Yeah. All right. You are listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago. Make sure you call in. Where you at? 773-591-1690. All right. We'll see you when we come back.
Did you know that every dollar you spend at a Black-owned business helps strengthen our communities? When you choose to buy Black, you're supporting jobs, creating opportunities, and building generational wealth. From local shops to service providers, your dollars make a difference. Next time you shop, ask yourself, how can I support Black businesses today? Let's keep the economic blood flowing in our neighborhoods and uplift our own. Visit ILBCC.org for a directory of Black-owned businesses near you. The power is in your hands. Buy Black and build our future together. This message was brought to you by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce.
Financial literacy is the key to unlocking your business's full potential. Understanding cash flow, managing debt, and accessing funding are crucial for growth. But you don't have to figure it out alone. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce is here to help. We offer resources, workshops, and mentorship to ensure you have the tools you need to succeed. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, financial knowledge is your most powerful asset. Visit ILBCC.org today to become a member to access our financial literacy programs and resources. Empower your business, empower your future. Brought to you by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce.
And we are back. We're talking to Brinton W. Flowers from Flowers Communication Group, who is also a longtime member of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. We are so happy to have our members gain those benefits of us having a conversation to pass on to our listeners. See how that works?
Hey, so Brendan, before we went to break, we're about to give you the opportunity to give out the information on how to contact the Flowers Group, because you know what, every Black-owned business, every small business is not at the startup stage where they don't have any capital that they can expend upon marketing, and there are a number of them that actually do. So for those of us that do, how do we get up with you, bruh?
All right. Well, right after they follow you all's YouTube page and y'all show on YouTube, they can head on over to Instagram and find us at Explore FCG. That's Explore FCG. Or, LinkedIn is always a great route to take with us as professionals. So Flowers Communications Group on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Brinton, Brinton Flowers. And as I mentioned, we welcome everybody just to, have a conversation, whether you have dollars or you don't have dollars. We definitely welcome an exploratory conversation to, again, meet you where you're at and see where we can go.
Now, you know what? Let me ask you my favorite question in the world. And it seems every time I ask this question, I typically stomp the teachers or the business people that hear it. So here it is.
Not stomp, y'all. Stump. Because you think Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin.
Come on now. Okay. So here's the question. People call you up and they, and I'm sure that when you go to networking events or you go to galas and things and they find out what industry you're in, or the people that actually call you on the phone and they start to ask you these various different questions because of things that they've already been seeing on YouTube or experiencing. And so out of all the questions that people ask you on a regular basis, what's the one question that nobody asks you that they really should, that they're missing the boat on, that nobody really digs down into? What's that one question that a small business needs to know that nobody is asking?
Drum roll.
I have to admit, I am stumped.
Oh, I was going to say,
No, I got you. We're talking specifically small businesses.
Hey, Doc, you can take it where you want to go because we're gonna feed off of it anyway.
Well, I would say people they drag their feet with wanting to get started. How can I get started right now? Is the question. I don't get.
You know what? That's a good one. How do I get started right now?
It's always a hesitancy. Well, what is this? What is it? The ones that know, they're the big companies. Hey, we have a problem. We have a crisis. We have a product coming out. Let's go. Then there's other businesses. How can I get started right now? Is the question. That we should be getting, because again, marketing, advertising, and PR is crucial to your business. And, choosing the right suitor could, light you on fire right away, for success. So we have a ton of success stories, and it's rare you find people that are ready to get started right away. It's always a sense of hesitancy when it comes to spending money on PR and marketing dollars.
Maybe you should sell them coffee cups. You should sell them coffee cups instead.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But yeah, you got me with that one. But I would say that would be the question. How can I go right now? How can my business blow up from, benefiting from public relations, marketing, or advertising?
Boy, I feel like church right now. Oh, right now. How do I get started right now?
So make sure that we do have a caller. I want to make sure you may have to repeat all of that because I want to make sure everybody online heard you. I want to make sure that they heard you, but we'll swing back around. Let's go ahead and go to our caller.
Good morning, Steve. Come on, wake us up.
Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
Thank you. Good morning. I think that was an interesting question, and when I've been asked a similar question, you tend to find these individuals who started up a business, and it's been reasonably successful, anywhere from moderately to very successful. And I'd say that the question that they miss out on when they're inquiring about how to proceed is, what have I done to reevaluate what I can do better? What mistakes have I made? Because simply doing well does not mean you can't do better. So I have to explain to people, okay, great. You made a 20% return on your investment this year. Okay, that's good. However, if you examine some of the things that you did, you may realize that you could have made 35% return this year, but you didn't take advantage of A, B, and C. So I think that's one of the questions I find among young people, especially, or neophytes who are starting out. But again, okay, I'm doing okay. All right, but everything that you do in any given year or period needs to constantly be reevaluated. The workforce is dynamic. The marketplace is dynamic. 5 years from now, who knows what companies will be dominating what? We don't live in our grandparents' age anymore where you start up a corner store and you can be there for 50 years and not have to worry about an Amazon or a Walmart. It's a different thing. And lastly, these kinds of shows are essential. We interact and to get in touch with other entities. The reality is that, especially with this new administration coming in, the notion of a government set aside for any particular group is quickly disappearing. This notion that, I will be able to qualify because I'm a woman, I'm Hispanic, I'm Asian, I'm African American for something so that my business can get the foot in the door with the city of Chicago, Cook County, Illinois, the federal government, that may be a thing of the past, may be considered unconstitutional. So if that's the case, then obviously people need alternative networks.
Wow.
Well,
I thoroughly enjoyed Steve.
you got to turn your radio down, Steve. You sound great, but we got a little echo going.
Yes, I heard that. I'm sorry.
No problem at all. Thank you so much for calling in.
So, Brendan, what do you think about the impact of Steve's comment and how the new administration is changing the landscape of how we're going to need to market?
Great. That's a great question right there, and a loaded question, if you will. Let me first start off by saying I like how he talked about, auditing yourself to see, what you did right and how you can keep building upon your success. That's one thing that we do when we first start working with clients is auditing where you were, whether it was a success or not a success. So I just want to quickly, tip my hat to that first point that he started off with. Now, when we talk about this new administration, and everyone is going, not staying committed to their DEI promises that they made after the wake of George Floyd. Everyone is getting rid of supply diversity. You're seeing it happen daily. This company, is no longer standing by their diversity commitments. This company has slashed this program. We're seeing it on the daily, right, unfolding in front of our eyes every day. But there are companies that still are prioritizing supplier diversity and also companies that still understand that they can't sell products unless they reach multicultural consumers and invest in our communities. One of my mentors, he goes by the name of Jim Lowry. He is a part of NMSDC, and I had a chance to take his advanced management education program. He shared with us the industries that are, prioritizing supplier diversity. So going back to, tools and resources that are free for us, MC, you can Google right now companies that are still trying to meet their supplier diversity goals and companies that are still trying to invest with multicultural services and products, if you will. So even though we're seeing companies cut, cut in the supplier diversity field and stop with their commitments, there are companies that are really, holding firm and standing their ground with buying Black and putting dollars into our community. So just continuing to do the research and put in the sweat equity to find where we are welcome.
Wow. And you know what? My other question would be this. Oftentimes businesses hear about PR, and we don't really understand what PR means, and I'm by no means am a subject matter expert in PR. So I'd like for you to take the last minute or two to demystify that, because, I know one thing that small businesses should be doing, or even medium-sized businesses, that when you create a partnership with a Wind Creek, or you create a partnership with a new large entity, do a PR release. Even if it's just posted online, or go ahead and send it out to the local newspapers, but even that small thing is quote unquote PR. But can you demystify for us, PR for medium and small businesses, and how we can use that in order to help grow our businesses?
Awesome. Great question. So public relations is using third-party ambassadors to tell your story. So, okay, if you purchased an ad on WVON, that's different from me saying, hey, as your PR company, I'm going to get you a spot on the Wake Up Show with my two favorite people in the world, MC and LaDonna. That's PR. Buying a spot during commercial is advertising and a part of your marketing. Having a company like me is getting your story out there via the news and via the press. And when we talk about small businesses and businesses that are just getting started, we love working with companies like that because the media loves a success story. Everyone loves a success story. Mm-hmm. Hey, a small business owner donates 200 turkeys to his community that he's lived in for the past 30 years with the last of his Q4 earnings. Boom, you're on every news station across Chicagoland. That's the power of PR right now. Us story mining, what we call it, to find a story that has a hook to really get the word out there about what you're doing, from an industry perspective and from a community perspective. So that's kind of the easy, short answer of what PR is, us getting the word out there about you through third-party endorsers and ambassadors.
Absolutely. There's that earned reputation and that paid for reputation. All right. Those of you with 5,000 followers and friends, what are they doing for you? Put them to work. OK, don't sit on it. Also, if you're one of those 5,000 friends, support your friends' businesses. Don't just sit there and watch and comment or hit the like button. Go ahead and support their businesses so that they can be successful. And then, it comes back around. We are here each and every Saturday on WVON, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. Make sure you go onto YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our website, ILBCC.org, and become a member or a sponsor. Go to iHeartRadio to listen to us live, and certainly call in each and every week. Love you guys. We'll see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central. This has been the Wake Up Show Chicago.
Peace.
Bye-bye for now.